Foretelling for 2024. Welcome to Mark and Pete. Now, here's a thought.
Foretelling for 2024. The public find new political appointments difficult to make as the economy quivers and the markets quake. More woke entertainment comes with another bad remake as the weary viewing public finds it hard to stay awake. Ranting royals and moaning media is something to forsake. You'll laugh so much your flabbergasted face will ache. Climate doomsayers' blood boils and continues to bake, and the future of mankind will then be at stake. Scientists discover that the planet is as flat as a pancake, and the Milky Way is really made out of rich milkshake. And by the end of December, when you need a break, you'll realize the whole year was just a deep fake.
Yes.
Happy New Fear. Yes, folks. Well, it does
Happy New
appear
Fear, yeah.
that deep fake could be the theme of the year. Election
Yeah,
fraud,
sure.
corporate blackmail, market manipulation, deep fake cybersecurity incidents. Oh dear. Clergyman Pete, I ask you, the reality is that reality may not take place in 2024. What say you?
Well, there's been a lot of fake news, to coin a phrase, during 2023, and I think that'll continue 2024. We've had the fog of war, as it's sort of sometimes called, various wars in which propaganda from both sides has been played out, and just like in the actual war, not just the fake war of PR campaigns, someone wins, and you can see in the war in Israel between Gaza and the Israeli government, you've got really the Gazan side winning the PR war. They're out faking them. And in Ukraine, at least for the West, we have the Ukraine side winning. But, you know, it doesn't mean that the actual physical war has been won that way. And it looks like the idea of being able to fake things is really there. There was one story about a baby being burnt to death to do with the Gaza and Israel conflict. And there were immediate claims that this was an AI image, and it wasn't. It was a perfectly real image, but people leapt to that, did some sort of rudimentary test using a free website which could supposedly spot them, and it was incorrect. It wasn't. And so you have actual deep fake, the sort of thing you were talking about, where you change images, and you can also, of course, mimic someone's voice.
Yes.
And not just still images, you can mimic someone in video, and so I think that will be the case. It's a bit like if you imagine back to the early years of the internet, it seemed like there was so much claim for it, but nothing much had changed, and nothing much did change. Nothing much did change, and any change was very slow, and then suddenly everything changed. And it's like that in this case, I think. And it is with changes in technology. Until it really takes hold, you don't get the big changes. And AI is coming to maturity possibly during this year. So I guess your prediction about from the poem about it being a fake 2024 with deep fakes, I think that will be the case. But I think though that AI technology, which is used in deep fakery, I think that will play a massive part in this coming year as it comes to play in different areas, including content creation, which we're involved in, of course. And I'm not saying that it's all negative. Of course, it's an excellent research tool, and it can do things like organize your notes brilliantly, and it can create animations quicker than you could using human animators. So human animators could do the artistic bit, but the main drudgery of the work could be done by AI. So I think that it's going to be maybe, yes, a deep fake year to a certain extent, but also it's going to be an AI year. It's going to be the year of artificial intelligence coming into its own.
Yes. Well, here's the issue, because many people are predicting that in 2024, half of the world's population will go to the polls. Now, here's an example. In the United States, there will be a presidential election. But it doesn't
Yeah.
stop there. Elections will occur in India, Indonesia,
Yep.
Mexico, Russia. Well, I think we know the outcome of that one, and the United Kingdom. Now, of course, there are many other smaller elections that are taking place, but the point is that there are many politicians, as well as even the public, that are concerned about how deepfake videos will affect actually the outcome. So, Clergyman Pete, we've seen that elections have been interfered with in the past, but this is going to be a little bit harder because, as your point has been made, which is that artificial intelligence, deep fake, AI, etc., could have a bearing on people's decision making.
Yeah.
So, here's my question to you then: so first of all, how do you avoid it? And the second thing is that where else do you think that deep fake videos could play?
Well, yes, in politics, you can easily get an election swayed these days by social media and by searches on the internet. And there's been research done by David Epstein, isn't it? I was going to say Epstein. It's Epstein, I think he says his name, who's, an expert in this area of looking at things like how Google does its searches, for example, which show that the major elections, such as the presidential election between Biden and Trump, were swayed heavily by Google's thumb on the balance, if you like. And with AI, you can be even more convincing. Not only can your search be swayed by the AI reading your activity on the internet and dishing up things that you will like about the candidate that they want you to support, but also that your searches can be manipulated so that you find what they want you to find about particular candidates. But also, news stories can be completely fabricated, in a much easier way, I suppose, more direct way. You could have people being appeared to say things that they simply didn't say using AI. So, my take on this, businessman Mark, is one of despair. I don't see how we can avoid it.
Well, indeed. And in fact, from a business perspective, artificial intelligence, incidentally, has been around for a long, long time. But one of the things that many people are concerned about is Gen AI. This is the latest trend that really broke out at the end of 2022. And of course, many people are probably even trialed it themselves, where you could put in a question, it could probably give you an answer to something. We know in education, the concern has been that many people's theses and answers to school questions have been answered by AI. But here's the other thing, is that I think it could be used very much to reduce down the manual labor, the laborious tasks that people see, where maybe technology can help. But here's the key, is that even down to the point where, and I think you've indicated it, is that it can replicate somebody's tone of voice, their style, their personality. That gets very worrying. And when it gets more sophisticated, when it actually represents somebody speaking. So we've seen some examples of that in recent times. For example, celebrities, they've been replicated. Tom Cruise was a classic example that I saw, where it actually wasn't Tom Cruise speaking. It was just an example of how powerful the AI algorithm could be in creating the image and even his voice. And that's very worrying. Now, in some cases, you may say, well, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? If, say, for example, he comes out with another Mission Impossible film and he still looks like the age of 30, which, of course, he does in real life, honestly. But here's the thing. It goes beyond that. So I mentioned about education, but of course, obviously, this is where it does get a little bit more serious. When it starts to infiltrate into life, such as health, or maybe there's other things that where it comes to your banking, where we don't want a world where cybersecurity really is taking over. There is a battleground, Clergyman Pete, between the good and the evil. What do you say about that?
Yes, big fans of the show, or people who've at least listened to previous episodes, will know that I've been pointing out that AI is not really, when it's a sophisticated AI, under the direct control of the people who've produced it. It breaks free if it's a proper learning AI.
Exactly.
It can break free and change. and therefore you get a lack of control, the control that we've seen being put into social media and put into internet searches. Suddenly they have a creation by these same people, in some cases by the tech giants, of something that is out of their control, and that leaves space for God to come in and use it to speak to us and to change it. So will remains to be seen how and whether that will take place, but I believe that it will. The thing that I would take it further and say, the thing about AI is it can be used, yes, for faking what someone sounds like and looks like, but it can do that in a useful way. For example, translation now, voice to text translation.
Yeah.
Is pretty good on I've used it on Zoom. I think Teams use it as well, so you can use it in your video calls. But you could equally have interpretation, rather, as of voice to voice, and then you could put a voice back into the mouth of the original person and get them to say what they're actually saying, not fakery, but in your language. And in fact, with AI, with video AI, you could actually manipulate the mouth such he's actually saying the words in your language.
Well, there you go.
It could be just powerful, like an episode of Doctor Who or something, when he can speak all the languages in the universe.
Yes.
But and
which
yet
probably would be a better script than the real Doctor Who at the moment.
Well, yes, that's another story. But I think that with another prediction that we're going to make, I may go on to in a moment, is about entertainment. And Hollywood and movies and TV, but I'll just say at this stage that they may want to consider using more AI. They can't be any worse at writing the things than the current writers. But what I'm saying is that translators by AI translation could revolutionize the way we operate, because if you can in real time talk to people whatever language they have, without having to go through all the tedious years of work to learn their language, means you can communicate with more different people. Now, this has changed things. I've mentioned on our show before how in Islam they've been having big problems because people suddenly know what the Quran actually says, and what the Hadiths say, which are stories about Muhammad's life. And knowing that and being able to read about it being disseminated on the internet in their own language has meant people leaving Islam in droves for reasons that I won't go into here. But if you can actually understand instantly what everyone says, well, it won't be that good to start with. And there is a problem that you may become overconfident at how good the translator is. Those are issues, but it will transform the way you relate to people in different parts of the world. If you can go online and understand someone from Papua New Guinea as well as you can understand someone from Croydon, probably already the case. But you know what you get my point. It'll make the world shrink even more, or another way, it'd be more fascinating because you can get to know people from different cultures better.
Well, it would. So it could actually be a positive sign. So what we're saying is it's less foreboding, but maybe more fortuitous.
Yes, possibly. Maybe. I think so.
Well,
yes.
Why not ask our public, our lovely listeners, have we been deep fake, or have we been telling the truth?
Yes, that's a good question, because we could be AI generated podcast episode for the coming year. I think for the coming year, what we've got is you mentioned the elections earlier. Are we going to make predictions on who's going to win? I think we should. We should say that in America, definitely. Donald Trump
I'm
will
going to have a bold prediction. I think that Taylor Swift will be president of the United States. Honestly,
yeah. No, well, we along with other podcasters who are still around got our listenership because our predictions on Brexit and Donald Trump.
Spot on.
And I believe it was you, Mark, who in a similar show to this one predicted that Trump would win, and it didn't seem likely at the time, unless, as we were looking into the details of the demographics of who was going to support him, and it's looking like he's going to win this year. That's good. we're big fans here on
Yes.
Mark and Pete,
Maybe
but
I'll
we
change
don't
it. Maybe
have such.
maybe Taylor Swift will be vice president then.
Yeah, that'd be good. But I think both she and Trump have good hair. But I was just saying,
Yes.
look, I don't want to go into all the elections that you mentioned, but as we're based in the UK, I say there's likely going to be an election in the UK for who's going to be prime minister, who's going to be the leading party, who's going to form a government, and for that, I would say, well,
I've got a prediction.
Yeah, what is your prediction?
I think whoever gets in will be hopeless.
Yeah, that. Yes, that sort. I wasn't going to put it quite like that. I was going to say, well, who cares who wins? But yes, I take your point. Yes, it's not worth predicting. It doesn't matter. They're all the same bunch of left wing, including the Conservative Party, who have anything more left wing than the Labour Party now.
I think I'd rather have an algorithm running our business in our country.
Yes, if only we wake up at the end of 2024.
I vote for ChatGPT.
It was ChatGPT winning everything. It was maybe it was all a deep fake, a bit like when you're writing stories as a school child.
Yeah.
One of the things that you often do is get to the end of the story, you can't finish it, and you say it was all a dream. And it was all a dream. If we wake up at the end of 2024 and look back on it and say it was all an AI deep fake, none of it happened, that may well be something that's very comforting at the end of 2024. But I think really, as content creators, we're looking forward to it, aren't we? I mean,
absolutely.
It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be it's going to be a roller coaster. Well, a really bad roller coaster, because you don't go back up again. You just go down and down and then down again. Yes, well, that's really our predictions for 2024. Let us know if you think they're fake or not by going to markandpete.com. Make sure you're subscribed, especially because you'll want to be listening to us and comment through 2024. See if we get our predictions right again, and just leave a comment on this and every episode. But from Mark and myself, it's goodbye from 2023. Roll on 2024.